Hey guys, welcome back to Disco Elysium. Elysium, I think they were pronouncing it on the trailer. Okay. So I got back to where we were. It did take a while, but mainly that was just because every time you roll for the probability of an action, there's a chance that you might fail or you might succeed. So I had a few different outcomes when I was getting back to the point where we left off and it didn't save. So as you can see, I've got a ton of saves here. I was saving before every conversation basically, and but I managed to get back to where we were with all the same outcomes of the investigation so far. The only thing that was different was I went over and spoke to the girl and the mum in the bookshop, and I got a different outcome from them. So what happened, it was I'd convinced the mother to let the girl back inside the shop because it was cold basically, and got some experience and stuff for doing that. But yeah, so we're gonna carry on from just before the conversation where we died with a heart attack last time, and I think I kind of understand why. I didn't realise why we died in the previous episodes, but then we've got his health meter here, and we've got his morale meter here, and so for whatever reason when we were in that conversation, when that chap accused us of being like the leader of something or other, then we lost a morale point, and that was what triggered the death. So what I didn't notice though was this guy up here, so let's talk to him, see what he's got to say.
Container, I'll turn you nice and red. Container, put the logos on.
Okay, easy Leo. with the nice little workman ditty. We like it. So the lyrics to this container song are being made up as he goes along. Yeah, I'm not surprised. The accent is so thick it's impossible not to notice he's Yubi from the vanishing peninsula of Yubi Sun on Monday. Okay.
Container, used to be Wild Pines. Container, now belongs to Everett.
Used to be Wild Pines. Okay. Yeah, let's interrupt him.
Everett, he looks after everyone. Huh? Well, hey there. How can I help you, mister? I see you're not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs, are you?
What is it with you people and scabs? And actually I am, yes. I don't want to ask either of those, but okay.
I mean, I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks, you know, and folks gotta eat. Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister.
Oh yes, born and raised in Irish, mister. Yeah. Well, it seems like a bit of a easy, what do you call it, pseudonym for where his accent betrays that he's from. But anyway, now we've got mum. We had mom before, and now we've got mum. Interesting. So, oh yes, born and raised in Irish, mister. Mum had to leave my dad after he got a bit violent. Took us here to the new world, to the new world. I was about 10 then, too old to lose my accent then. People say us Ubis are up to all sorts of trouble with sheep and other animals and whatnot. I just want you to know that there was never any of that where I come from. No sir, those are just nasty rumours. Thank you for clarifying that, sir. Oh, I'm just making some covers for them containers here. Yes I am. So it's easier for the crane operators to spot them. He waves at the containers towering behind him. Logic. What's going on here? The containers in the yard are green in Wild Pines livery, and the mountain rising behind Leo is all red in Union colours. It's like some red infection was spreading outwards from the container yard's core. There appear to be cisterns underneath the Union container covers. Looks like a massive redecorating operation. Leo, has anyone told you why you need to change the covers? What is underneath the red covers? Okay. Yes, they're hiding it from the inside. All the red containers have the Debarden's Union logo on them. No, not really, he shrugs and continues merrily. Mr. Everett doesn't tell me all the big things. Says I go and tell them to everyone. So what's underneath the red covers? Oh, I don't know, mister. They say it's some chemicals, whatever they are. Most of them have labels on them, I think. Thanks, Leo. Oh, no trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all. Where is everyone? The harbour's empty. Oh, most of the guys are down at the gates, keeping the scabs from coming in. He leans with a confidential look. We're on a strike. The whole union is. You don't have to work when you're on strike. Ha! We haven't worked for 2 months now. So no one is working? Not everyone is down there, of course, he chuckles. Mr. Everett is in his office, where he always is, and Jean-Luc is guarding the gate. He pauses to think, wow, Jean-Luc's guarding the gate. Engage. But Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble, and Everett sent them on a nice vacation for a week or so. He stops, but seems eager to tell you more. What kind of trouble did this Titus... Oh, got it. But, okay, what kind of trouble did they get into? Oh, I'm not really supposed to talk about that. That's union business. He smiles and leans closer. Him and his boys stirred something up in town. Probably drank too much and got into a fight or something. I heard Mr. Everett telling them to take some time off. But what did they actually do? What did they actually do? I guess the boys got a bit too rowdy and had to let out some steam. I don't really know the details. That's just how boys are, you know. Another chuckle. I haven't been in a fight since I was in middle school. Easily, let's keep this on the hard as he looks to you for assistance. Look at him, it's not going to be anything useful anyway, don't fight it, better to go with the flow. Too rowdy, Leo, what kind of fight did they get into? Did they kill a mercenary? Okay, Leo, let's hear about this fight you got into. I remember I was the runt of the class, he laughed merrily. The bigger boys always used to pick on me. You see, I had a bit of a temper back in the day, flew off the handle like nobody's business. But Mr. Everett and his brother always came to help. Once they beat old Noel Becker so bad he needed stitches on his head. He chuckles again. Noel never started another fight with anyone after this. Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar are real nice guys, mister. You should go talk to Mr. Everett. I'm sure you'll be good friends. He's friends with everyone around here. He starts coughing. Do you work it? Well, we know he works here. What's in that container over there? What's in that container over there? Oh, that one. He looks at the container. That should be empty as far as I know. Lots of containers here have nothing in them. They're just waiting to be loaded up. I told you. Alright, Kim. Okay, I'm looking for the leader of the dock workers. Oh, you want Mr. Everett then? He's an awfully nice fellow, he is. Him and his brother are both nice fellows. They've lived their entire lives in this here neighbourhood. Cosling continues immediately. Guys like Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar, his brother, are real good guys. Made Martinez what it is today. Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar and I went to the same school we did when we were boys. Easy now, Leo. I just want to know where I can find him. Oh, Mr. Everett is where he always is. In his office, of course. He points to the two joint containers on your right. Okay, let's go. Is there I wonder if there's a quick save button. Let me just see if we can see that. No, I don't want to engage hardcore mode. Yeah, you'll see me saving a lot now because I don't trust the autosave at all. Okay, yep, so this is the conversation last time that ended the game. So we've got the swordfish up there. A taxidermy fish that tells time. Wow. So this is Mr. Everett then, Everett Clare. Before you is a walrus of a man seated behind a large desk. He looks up from his work, not the least bit surprised to see you. With great effort, he straightens himself up in his chair, yet says nothing. He simply stares at you. With a mixture of expectation and impatience. Well bowled. Okay. Are you in charge of the dock workers?
Welcome, Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi. It's good of you two to stop by. Please, have a seat. I'm Everard Clare, head of the Debargeurs Union here in Martinez. I'd offer you my hand, but unfortunately my health prevents me from getting up. You understand?
He looks extremely comfortable. The tiny folding chair, on the other hand, looks like a torture device. Okay.
You go ahead, detective.
Whatever he has in store for you, it can't be good, he thinks. I'll do my best. Forget about that. What's with this Du Bois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad vibes from that name. Last time we took a seat, why are you calling me Mr. Du Bois?
Please, Mr. Dubois, let us converse in a civilized manner as equals. Take a seat, I insist.
It's nothing. Yes, that's probably right. It's nothing. Forget about it. Filter it out. I'm not sure. Let's try a different way and see what happens.
Very well, Mr. Dubois. I respect a man with strong convictions.
As he nods, his multiple chins move like ocean waves.
I too have convictions, one of which is that I will not engage any man who won't face me at eye level. Should you find yourself more amenable in the future, I'd gladly resume our conversation. But until then, I'm afraid I must ask you to leave.
You know, Titan of listen, buddy. He's got you no fork. Sit down and leave. Okay.
Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you're a reasonable man, and reasonable men can be of great use to one another.
Okay. Should we try and wink back?
So tell me, how can the head of the Debargeurs Union help a representative of the Rovachol Citizens Militia today?
The chair you're sitting on has got to be the most uncomfortable chair in the world. It's violating your back. That's what killed us last time. Okay, interesting.
Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Garte. Some people have no manners. It pains me to say. This should take care of that nonsense. It should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch over your differences with the cafeteria manager. Go ahead, take it.
It's 25 real. That's good money. You need it. Okay. Okay, wait, you know, guys.
Yes, I know Lawrence. He's a real character. No union man in him. A real piece of work, that boy is.
With a grin, he points to the check again. It's like you're on a game show. Okay, I don't see why we shouldn't have this. Or is it a bribe? Yeah, I don't think we're supposed to take, as a cop, you're supposed to take money from folks.
Okay. I respect a man with principles. No handouts then. Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease about one other matter. Your lost gun. Let me assure you, Union people are on it as we speak. I've got my best hounds looking for that lost gun. Lost gun. Lost gun.
Oh heck. Okay, so healing morale this time. We might be able to make it through this. Damaged health as well. Okay. So the world is swallowed by a black hole of fear. Only two words escape its gravitational pull: lost and gun. When he said "don't worry," he actually meant be very worried. Okay. How do you know about my lost gun?
I know everything, Harry. Right now I know that you're worried. Don't be worried. Everything's going to be all right. It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun. Local children aren't out there playing with it right now, pointing it into their own mouths. It's in a safe place. I just know it. I have a feeling everything's going to be all right.
It was loaded. There were 2 bullets in it. You always keep at least 2 barrels loaded.
Officer, we will deal with this later. We don't need Mr. Clare's help with this.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
So we have no other options. Oh, well. That was lucky. Who does this guy think you are? Ronnie the Rookie. You ain't worried about no lost gun or unpaid bill or forgotten name. You're the bad cop. You're probably more corrupt than him. Wait, that's it. That's my point of pride here. Oh, sink deep into the folding chair, smile and cross your hands behind your back. Yeah, let's do that. The fat man does the same, sinking deeper into his chair than one would think is physically possible. He seems to be enjoying your little display. Good, now lean in with some corruption. Listen,
That we do. Let them say what they will about you and me. We're both born fighters. Why, thank you. It's always nice when a fellow professional appreciates your work. You strike me as a reasonable man, Harry. I like that in a lawman. Let's cut to the chase, shall we? What can Everard Clare do for you?
I think we'd like to ask you a few questions. Don't you think so, Detective?
Somehow you managed to get yourself out of this one. Now quick, keep the momentum up, ask questions. Whatever you do, don't ask him about the gun first. You don't want him thinking you're scared. You're going to ask me how I got him. Harry, he says almost gently, honestly, I'm just relieved you didn't get a hernia, a man your age. Say nothing. The big man peers at you over the rims of his glasses for a moment, then interlaces his fingers and rests his chin on his hands. Anyway, I assure you, I'm a very well-informed man. Information reaches me before I even get the chance to request it. You call me Mr. Dubois. Why? Of course, let us dispatch with the formalities. You call me Everett, I call you Harry. So that's really my name? My God, so it's true. I didn't want to believe it, but you are a fantastic science fiction amnesiac cop, aren't you? He shrugs with an amazed expression. What are the odds of that? I think the odds of that, he looks at you, are very low. It might be a good idea to hide your confusion. I mean, see what his game is first. My memory is fine, I'm just testing you. So good to hear that, Harry. Apparently my sources were wrong. He pats the brown folder in front of him. However, if you did have a spot of memory trouble, I could help you out with my big fat folder. Words flow like a river of honey from his lips. Okay, I guess word has already reached him. No matter, no harm done. It's just a brown folder, you can't make out what's written on it. Are you trying to tell me you've gotten hold of some of our documents? The lieutenant inspects Everett over his spectacles. Mr. Kitsuragi, would you mind? His eyes never leave yours. Me and Harry are talking about his lost identity right now. Don't just jump to the folder, that's not smart, shows you're on the edge. Do some probing first. Have another look at that folder. Yeah, let's try it. As you look at the folder, Everett covers it with his hands and pets it. Is he trying to hide that it's not a real RCM folder? It certainly doesn't have the RCM stamp on it. That's not an RCM folder. Okay, Harry, you got me, he says, grinning. This is from the Census Bureau, not the RCM. Those Census Bureau people are absolutely corrupt. You should do something about them. You got the name from the Census Bureau and everything else from your actions here in Martinez. Yes, Mr. Kitsuragi, from the Census Bureau, like I said. He looks annoyed. Now I'm actually a very busy man, so is there anything else I can do for you, Harry? Means he doesn't really know anything about you. So the Census Bureau says my name is Harry de Bois. Yes, that's what I said. I tried to keep up, okay? Let's move on. What's in the container outside your office? My dear Harry, there are literally millions of containers in this harbour. I couldn't possibly remember what's in all of them. There's something special about it. It was attached to the Kvalsund crane. Harry, you smooth-talking son of a bitch, he says with the fondest of smiles. Time is a precious resource, and I don't have enough of it to count containers with you. Smooth-talking? Maybe that's the way to go about opening the container. You should at least try convincing it. I want to talk about the hanging. Of course, that's your main thing here. That's why you're in Martinez, he nods. I know everything that goes on around here, and I would love to discuss it with you. I mean, it's no secret that the lynching is connected to the strike. So much to talk about. Honestly, it's been weighing on me so heavily. I understand you need to interview me. I sense there is a but. But there's a thing that's been keeping me up all night. I want to talk about the hanging. I mean, if we could just calmly talk, exchange information, we could blow this thing wide open. That's the cat, by the way. It's making a presence known. Hey up, is it? Bless her heart. Anyway. Yes, that sounds good, the lieutenant says with a slow nod. Let's do that. But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. Suddenly he slaps himself on the forehead. You're police officers, aren't you? I have a crazy idea. You guys are basically door opening machines, incredibly talented at opening doors. Kim, is this true? Are we door opening machines? I'm not sure I understand. He looks to the union boss. If you're asking us to break down someone's door, it's not going to happen. Come now, I just need you to go open a little door for me and leave it unlocked. A simple thing. Absolutely nothing shady about it. Well, yeah, well then why don't you just open it yourself? Harry, I'm a very busy man, and more importantly, I don't have that extraordinary physique you do. He slams his fists together. You look like you could run around all day. You want to send someone a message that the police are working for you. I repeat, I'm a very, very busy man, Mr. Kitsuragi, and therefore I must occasionally enlist outside help. He turns back to you. So what will it be, Harry? I bet you don't even know anything about the hanging. Harry, my dear friend, he sinks deeper into the chair. I am what people call a local bigwig. I know everything that goes on in Martinez. I don't want to do this for him. I really don't. Whose door is it? Oh, no one's. It's just a weasel. A weasel lives there. Nothing for you to worry about. What do you mean by a weasel? A loud, blabbering weasel. When weasels feel no one is watching, they start acting foolishly. He removes his glasses and rubs his nose. Just go there, unlock the door, and leave it open. It's been such a burden on me, Harry. I just want this to be over so I can discuss business with you. Puts his glasses back on. Can't accept it. Of course, Harry, I understand, but if that's the case, I don't think we'll ever find your gun. Ever worse, we won't be able to speak like equals about the murder. Perhaps this was just bad timing for you. You know that you can always come back to me. I really hope you do. He winks at you. For your sake, my sake, and for your gun's sake, too. The lieutenant sighs. Yes, we both understand what you mean. This may be the only way, he thinks. I won't hold it against you. In fact, we probably should reconsider later. Let's talk about my lost gun. Yes, your lost gun, his face turns serious. My best men are on it. They're turning every stone, searching every playground, asking kids, grandmas, everyone. Your gun will be found, Harry, let me assure you of that. He winks at you. It's just a matter of time and effort. The only way to find it seems to be working with him. He might even be holding your gun hostage. I will not be blackmailed with this gun business. Harry, I was only trying to be tactful. A lost gun is a dangerous thing. I can't have it around my neighbourhood. His tone is suddenly very serious. Kids could be playing gun roulette with it as we speak. Teenage gangs could be arming themselves. Get a hold of yourself, Harry. I assure you we are working on locating the missing sidearm as well. Excellent, Mr. Kitsuragi. That's excellent news. He claps his hands together. Looks like we have a friendly gun-finding competition in our hands. Okay. Okay, yeah. Wait, he leans and reaches into his drawer and pulls out a plastic card. You need this to get in and out through the gate. Great, wouldn't want to get stuck in here. Here, you're one of us now. A real red and white Union man. Take care, Harry. Okay, so he's saying that he knows a lot about us, and in that he can help us find the lost gun and all sorts of stuff, as long as we leave a door open, which pretty much to me says that that'd end up with somebody losing their life. So I don't really want to do that. But hey, I think there's dynamic weather, because I seem to notice when I reloaded one of the games earlier, it was sunny at a time when it was raining before. I think that's pretty cool. Do you have any dialogue with Kitsuragi at the moment?
Yes.
Tell me about the case. So, can we go over the preliminary info again? Give me like a brief. Do you want me to brief you again? Yes. So, 3 days ago, the RCM Emergencies Desk received a report about a security guard who was found hanged in Martinez. An anonymous caller said there was a dead body behind the Whirling in Rags hostel cafeteria. The cadaver had been there for 4 days. No one had come to investigate. During that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not identify himself, but used the word lynching. There is an ongoing labour dispute between the local dock workers and the logistics company Wild Pines. I was told we should approach the death as part of this dispute. Okay. Wait, does the briefing say who the victim was? A security guard or worker of some sort, hired by Wild Pines. This was just hearsay from Martinez, of course, but we need to find out the truth. Why don't we know anything about the caller? They didn't identify them, we know about the callers anyway. Oh no, we don't actually. We thought it was her, but it's not. There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matters. The dock workers union is the de facto police in Martinez. Now it appears they've started executing too. We cannot allow that. Okay. Okay. That's all I needed to know. Okay. So nothing really mega new there. I'm so glad that we found the run function. That's going to make this a whole lot easier on the old clock. Okay, back in here. I think we've been here before, but I did upgrade our volition since then, so we can try it again, and we have slightly better odds. Ah, but we still failed. Okay. Okay, so we should be able to exit this door now. Ah, okay. So is this where... Let's talk to this chap again, see what he has to say about us being able to go through.
Your body betrays your degeneracy.
Yeah, Measurehead. His body totally betrays his degeneracy.
That is precise the negligence that has led you to succumb to Valhalla. You reek of it. An invisible sword of Valhalla emerges from your throat. Your mouth moves, but the one who speaks is Al-Ghul. You are but a vessel for the Ghul. Very little of yourself remains. Occidental Haplogroup B4 is done giving orders around here. The influence of the ham sandwich begging for help.
This is all
You
the same.
gave, you don't, you will.
It is, baby, yeah.
We don't need your help now, sir. With your Captain Mr. the Mega Racist. Oh, there's a crate up there. Is anyone else down here that we didn't speak to? Bit of change on the floor. Okay, so... I'm not entirely sure what to do next. Let's go this way, we haven't been this way yet. Something down there. The musty smell of a potato cellar in spring emanates from the air vent. Okay. Roundabout north. Capeside apartments and the pier. Tips has windows. We do need to find a bag so that we collect... Oh, there's a bag right here. Oh, does this lead to whatever that smell was? Ah, there's just some money, okay. Splatter of bullet holes lines the wall. The sight of bullet holes stirs something in you, making you forget the lieutenant's surname. Kim, look, bullet holes. Where? He looks around. Point to the chips in the wall. Someone has been shot where cops need to solve it. There, he looks at the wall. Those are old. What do you mean old? These bullets were fired during the revolution over half a century ago. They do not warrant an investigation. Okay, what can you tell me about the revolution? Not much. I don't have a fresh perspective on it. Shall we go? Yeah, okay. Fair enough. So if we equip the bag now... Aside from just looking super snazzy and amazing, we can pick up some bottles and make a little bit of money on the side. Plastic tank. Plastic. Okay, cool. Onwards. Lonely cormorant surveys the sea, indifferent to your approach. What, you betting that if you take too many bottles the bag splits? Hey, let's just go down here before we go up there. Oh wait, bottles galore. Nice, got some magnesium. Hey, up here, bigger. What was that? Is it something that needs lockpicking? I don't know. Door rattles against your knuckles, but there's no response. Knock again. This time you hear an elderly woman's voice calling out from inside.
Stop banging on the door. I'm not letting any more strangers inside.
This is the police.
The police? Everyone knows the police don't come round here.
I'm not
No,
joking.
I already told you. I won't be responsible for any more strangers getting into the building. Go check the backyard door. Maybe someone there will.
Madame, I assure you, we are real police officers.
Okay, so how do we get from east, it said? Oh, I see. This wall inside. Impossible. Why am I looking at this wall? Okay. Okay, we're on the other side of... Oh wait, how come... I didn't see that last time. There's all sorts of stuff around there now.
Are you trying to sneak up on me? Come to slit my throat in my sleep?
That'd be pretty difficult, seeing as though you're talking to me. Apparently she doesn't like people standing behind her back. Logic error, she's not sleeping right now. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Pigs come to take me out? Trying to snuff me out?
Don't get effing clever with me, pig. You think you're so clever. What else? We're gonna be rich. Orange bum hat. Oh yeah, the hat. You would have seen the hat yet? That's I got that when I that was from the oh, did that open? No. Can we get into there? Oh no, that was the hatch to get up there. Okay, yeah. When I spoke, convinced the mum to let the girl inside, the girl gave you the hat. Okay. Must be another way into the building. Balcony with a view to the yard and the hanging. See a young man on the balcony nursing a cigarette. His eyes have been following you for a while.
Not looking for any trouble, officer.
Okay. It's the voice of someone who has something to hide in my league. Okay. No trouble for me. I just want to know what's going on.
I don't want to be seen talking to the gendarmerie, if that's okay. I just want to finish my cigarette.
Don't let him go. This could be your witness.
Is it really that important?
Like a nervous cat, he keeps stealing looks at the neighbouring windows.
Alright, but make it quick. Once I finish this cigarette, I have to run.
My name is Martin Martinez. Ooh, interesting. That's definitely not his real name. No, of course not. Could you please lower your voice? He scans the courtyard. It's silent like the bottom of a well. Every sound captured and reflected back. Looks like you've got a good view of the whirling's backyard. Can you tell me anything about the hanging? I can tell that you finally got him down. Thank you. It was quite disturbing sight, even by Martinez standards. What were you doing last Sunday? Oh, he waves lazily with his cigarette. You already asked me that, didn't you? Wait, is someone else investigating the lynching? Did you? No, not you two, he gestures idly. Some more muscular type. The lieutenant takes out his little blue notebook and writes something down. When did you speak to this more muscular gentleman? Last week? I don't know, look. He looks around the courtyard again. Old patio chairs and dead house plants litter the scene. Okay. He's an actor, declaiming soliloquy. See how you hang on his every word? You didn't answer the question. What were you doing last Sunday? He sighs. I had a friend over. What kind of friend? It was my Sunday friend. What's your friend's real name? Did he see something? He doesn't reply, gesturing no with his cigarette. In the neighbouring windows you can see faint reflections of his silhouette, all from different angles. Alright, we'll talk later. No, he won't, because he takes one last drag of his cigarette before stubbing it out on the balcony. Now, if you excuse me, I really need to get going. We can try. Okay. Time to bring out your secret charm. Tears and begging. Show him your emotional side. Do you want me to cry, huh? No, for God's sake, I don't want you to cry. He takes a quick step back and looks around, clearly disturbed. Listen, I really have to go. With a flick of his wrist, he sends the extinguished cigarette sailing over the rail. Good luck with the investigation. Okay. We should run after him, see where he went. No point in running. Tenements like these often have multiple exits. If he doesn't want to talk to us, then he'll know how to hide himself. Okay, he could be a witness, him or his Sunday friend. Either way, we need to look into that muscular type who's asking about our case. There has to be a way of getting inside the building. Let's go check the door near the pier again. Once we've found the way in, we can ask around for his apartment. Great, let's do that. Okay. Can we speak to this person?
The streets will flow red once more. A great torrent rushing down Rue d'Esperance. You wait and see.
There's a lot of Liverpudlian accents in this game.
The streets will not flow red with anything. Who are you?
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth? Blood type? The last time I was tested for Hep C?
Name, tone, blood type, we'll go from there. Just want to know your
And
name.
here I was, trying to be polite. Just can't win with you pigs.
Russian artist, the red splatter is urban expressionism. What are you doing to the wall? Can't you tell I'm painting a beautiful mural, an aero giraffe visible from low orbit? She studies the wall, suddenly pensive. I haven't really started it yet, I'm waiting for the right words. So you don't know what to write? Have you ever tried your hand at graffito? When faced with a blank wall, most people write unimaginative stuff like pigs go home and Mona was here. We rarely see pigs around here though, just union cards, and my name's not Mona, so... I have an opinion on this, want to hear it? I love public art. I'm going to have to stop you. Yeah, I love public art, let's go for it. Thanks, I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official RCM stamp of approval. Which means the opposite. You keep looking off to the side, what are you looking at? She nods disdainfully toward the woman performing maintenance on the boat dock next to the pier. Hatred, disgust, it's difficult to tell which one of the two is more present in her girlish features. The woman on the boat does not notice her staring. She wasn't there before, was she? I don't think so. She hisses, that Ozon whore, someone's got to keep an eye on her. Ozon is an archipelago 2 days travel away from Rovachol. Its moneyed residents used to posh restaurants and upscale boutiques rarely have reason to visit matinees. Who is she? Probably the Wild Pines rep. We should talk to her. He nods in her direction. She's a professional negotiator though. I have the feeling she will be very cooperative while telling us nothing. You should take the lead. Ask her unexpected questions, you know, do your thing. Don't be afraid to get a bit wacky. Throwing her off is our best bet. Good idea, piggies. Run along now. F her ship. Good. Impound that boat while you're at it. I'd like to watch her swim back to Oza. Do you know anything about the recent murder? She wrinkles her nose. I ain't no snitch, Pigstein. Go forth and forage in someone else's ship. No shortage of squealers in these parts. Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in normal, calm, informative manner. We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, Effa. Catch you later, Cindy. Watch your back, Ungulate. You've got eyes on you. Okay, well. Interesting. Joyce Messier. A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. A green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good afternoon, officers. I'm Joyce.
She extends her hand in greeting.
Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM.
Steps closer and holds out her hand over the railing. Joyce L., what does the L stand for?
Leighton, my maiden name.
Her bony hand dangles from the sleeve of her oversized raincoat. What gave us away?
Nothing, honestly. I've said it to every drunk in town, and you're the first one who's responded. I'm glad to see you here.
Her grip is tight and cold. Like steel, there is strength here. If she wanted, she could sink her nails deep into your skin.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
There's a trace of irony in his voice, mischief even. This is a tactic. It happens quicker than a shooting star, but did the lieutenant just wink at you?
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
You're on a boat. Why, yes I am. She looks at the deck under her feet. Green and white sails flutter overhead. Not a lot of people on boats, are there? Of course there are. She looks around. We are on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around? Wait, we're on an archipelago? Yes, we are. She raises her brow. We are on Le Caillou. Technically, the neighbouring Ozon and Fesselmer island groups are archipelagos, while Lekalu, by contrast, is a single, fertile landmass, the fourth largest island in the world. This is not an archipelago. Wait, I thought Lekalu was one big island. Okay, she gives you the crooked smile. If you want to get technical, the point is we're all on islands here, and sail is still the most expedient way to get from one island to another, especially when you're in a hurry to resolve a strike. Still haven't seen anyone else sail a boat around here. I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kanema motor carriage either. Actually, the lieutenant becomes defensive. That motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as patrol and pursuit vehicle. It's for crossing long distances in the greater Rovachol industrial harbour. It's not a toy. Neither is this, the woman said, pats the cabin hardtop. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Rovachol, between the city and the islands. You need to make this lady admit she's only riding around on the boat because she's rich. Yes, I do. Before you do, it would be pertinent to ask other questions. Gather more info on this boat of hers. Does she have a name? The boat? No, it is called Cordillate 19 because that's the type of sloop it is. Okay, but what kind of boat is it? It's a pleasure craft, a 19 pacer. It also happens to be a rated for Category 1 racing, though these days I mainly use it for business. How do you like it? My sloop? I like it a lot. Her lips curl into a wry smile. It's the eel's hips, baby. I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating. And do you have a license for this boat? Officer, I assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator. The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull as she smiles. Her nonchalance might be related to something called the Wayfarer Act, a law that says she doesn't need a license. Sly fox, you're not aggressive enough to harass her further on this. Let's talk about the economics of this boat that you're on. Oh my, the E word, she crosses her arms. You mean to say that it's a symbol of conspicuous consumption? That I'm a member of the ruling class? No, it's a symbol of our subjugation to the foreign capital, the bad kind of capital. Detective may remind you that Miss Messier is a professional negotiator. He doesn't look like he thinks you'll best her in a single combat. Then what does that say? She points to the plaque of the side of the pier. Does it say, docking reserved for residents of Rue de Saint-Ghislain 33A? 33A, this old proletarian haunt here. She waves at the ruin looming over her head. As I said, plenty of people drive boats, all of social strata. Fire back quick. Reaction speed, your synapses flash. Funny I don't see any other eel seals around. This doesn't seem to be much space left for this 19 pace sloop docked. Oh, this house was built before the revolution. Okay, it is an anti-centennial. She looks at the building looming overhead. The people who live there now lead a different lifestyle, if you know what I mean. I assure you they drove quite a hard bargain for this space, but you're right. I'm a bourgeoisie woman, and this is my fast, lightweight, interminutely bourgeoisie boat. I think I have a handle on the boat thing. Good, she takes a sip of her thermal cup. What can you tell me about the strike? Everything, she smiles, right up to but not including trade secrets. But what if I want to hear about trade secrets? First you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade and Aliments that gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus. The octopus that straddles Rovachol. The Emergencies Act is the cornerstone of post-war Rovachol, inseparable from the world it created. An octopus house, like, how do I repeal it? Wouldn't want to disturb an octopus, let it be. I'm glad you see it that way. To repeal the act would mean repealing the coalition government, one that leases you the right to police West Rovachol. You'd be shooting yourself in the foot, in other words, leave it alone. But I'm derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike. What is your role in this precisely? I believe the official title is Senior Labour Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counter-offer. And how are the talks going? They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago. After that, awful lynching took place. Wait, she just admitted that the lynching and the strike are connected. Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2.2 metre racist behemoth blocking the gates. Oh, you mean Measurehead? Yes, Jean-Luc that was Jean-Luc? Okay. Jean-Luc measure her head. She leans back and rolls her eyes. So the strike is connected to the lynching. Her eyes narrow. Yes, I believe there is a connection. But that's a subject for later. How the talks going before the lynching. Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I had hoped for when I first arrived. When did you first arrive? I arrived 3 weeks ago, she thinks. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I preferred to do these things on site, like the RCM. He looks at his notes. But the strike began in December. I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gormont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gormont, despite concessions he'd granted to the union in prior negotiations. This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike. Heavens no, there have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive. Ludicrous even, it's meant. So yeah, what happened to Gormont? Mr. Clare told him to, how did he put it? She paused to compose herself. F off, midget. Gormont is short of stature, you see. Not cool. Keep in mind this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union. What are their demands? There are leaflets everywhere and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes. Every worker a member of the board. Most of the workers probably don't know what that means. I don't know what to think about that. Fortunately, they explained it. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about anything, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of the Wild Pines group. Pretty funny, I have to admit. They are having a blast, but how can they afford it? After 4 months, my assumption was they would prefer a more practical solution. So what are you going to do? I'm not sure. Naturally, I assumed that that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. And now people are saying, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags, a disastrous situation if ever there was one. Excuse me? The lieutenant looks up from his notes. From whom did you hear about this lynching? Her reply comes quick. I first heard it from the boy at the gates, the one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, call me Manana. Okay, this checks out. The scabs at the gate, did you put them there? The scabs? She raises her brow. You mean the huddled masses of jamrock come to plead for work where the union refuses to? Don't let her answer it herself. Let's call them strike breakers. You put them there, right? If these strike breakers were organised by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you, not yet at least. It's implied that she's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion. What do you think of Everett? Everett Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first. Really? Of course not. Everett is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood. If you were to prick him with something sharp, you could see it oozing out. A knife, maybe? No. A rapier? You sound like you're about to take a rapier to him. Oh heavens no, we get along just fine. Yet now that you mention it, I can't stop imagining that black treacle just dribbling down his double chin. She stops and smiles. That's Everett, alright. He's the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother Edgar. I remember hearing something about this Edgar. Have you seen him? No. Edgar looks exactly like his brother except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everett does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues. So what about the Union itself outside the Brothers Clare? The Debarders Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it, I can respect that. She adjusts her hair. Organised labour at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The Brothers Clare came and transformed it into a, how do you say, she hesitates looking for the right expression. A mob, the lieutenant says succinctly. The Debarders are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, we're forced to cooperate with them. Refreshingly honest, officer, she nods. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everard and his brother. She turns to you. And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see, she explains. Would you say the Debarders Union is an effective advocate for the rights of local working men? Giant leech sucking the life out of Rovachol? Basically a socialist mob. I prefer not to have an opinion on these things. I don't really agree with any of those three. I think it's somewhere in the middle. Of course, officer. One more thing. You said something happened in the elections. I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared. Disappeared? Yes, on the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore, or coming to work, ever. End of story. This forewoman, her name. This forewoman, her name. Sadly, the company records do not even give a name. She's just forewoman in private correspondence. Holly? I don't even know if it's a sir or given name, and I don't have access to the union's files. Some kind of it happens. Does it? She arches her brow. The company suspects foul play, but there's nothing they could do if it was a union man. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with them. Yeah, no, as I said, it happens. And you disagreed. Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine. That's all I need here. Let's change the topic. Okay. Tell me about Wild Pines. What do you do? What we do, I'm afraid. I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking. There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent. So what do they do? The Pines' core competency is logistics, container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. She points to the small dots on the horizon. See those airships there blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. Then to the east towards the harbour, and that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms. The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Rovacholian Indo tribes companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, or the suzerain himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo tribes remain. You're in good company, it seems. Why, thank you. She does not register the real meaning of the remark. How much money does Wild Pines have? I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year the company booked more than 20 billion in real in revenue. Wow. 20 billion is a large number, but the conglomerate employs 72,000 people. They all need to be paid. Then there are capital improvements, interest payments. A wave hits the sloop. She grasps the mainstay for balance. A conglomerate the size of the Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving, it will die. Then what becomes of those 72,000 families? It's a tremendous responsibility. Where does Wild Pines get all these billions? They started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Isles 250 years ago, when Pine ships explored the South Seminoes and charted Lower Manthang on behalf of the suzerain. Centuries of care, deliberation and madness have gone into this endeavour. Vessels pass through the great unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow. The logic of the system is totalising. It's taking everything from its employees to build it. Probably help start with the Roman monopoly. What does a huge system want with a place like this? You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners? She gives you a little smile. Who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo? Okay. Thought gained, eh? What What does this do? 5 hours. Wild pines fell. Okay. Names of Rovachol indicate spring into your head. Set loose at the mention of wild pines. Raw monopolies, octopus and sulfur. There's one missing. Wait, no, there were only 14. Then why do you feel like there was a 15th in the tribe? Yeah, okay. She nods forcefully. There are no minor cogs in the system. Each terminal must be accounted for, lest the entire system break. Every hiccup in such a system means thousands lose their jobs the world over. I'm here to assure that doesn't happen. By the way, I've talked to Evrat. You have? She smiles carefully. And how did you like Mr. Clare? Socialist is reasonable. The champion I was chosen, I was just Fairfield to you. It's not important if I liked him, I was doing my job. Of course, Detective, excuse me for implying otherwise. The RCM does not pick sides in this, I hope it doesn't come off any other way. Of course, and I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I am not a corrupt worm myself. She turns to you. However, if you felt like discussing something, how could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be, she smiles, gossiping. Intellectually speaking, it would be quite interesting to hear what she has to say about these things. Okay, yeah. I don't know, that could come back to bite you, could that? Just do it. Oh, her eyes become large and round. That's so helpful of him. The lieutenant looks at you and you can swear his jaw muscle is trembling. He's able to contain the anger and surprise. Unconventional police officers sometimes lose their guns. They then go all around and tell people about this to gauge their reactions. It's part of detecting. Incredible, she shakes her head. Simply incredible. And how is it going? Has this detective produced a gun? No. Or maybe he's not as helpful as you thought he is. Is there anything else? Of course, detective, she simmers down. Should something come up later down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat. What can you tell me about this lynching? Quite a few things, I'm afraid. She falls silent for a moment, contemplating something. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers. Of course, ma'am, we should have introduced ourselves. The lieutenant hands her a piece of blue plastic. I'm Lieutenant Kisaragi from Precinct 57, and this is my colleague from Precinct 41, Detective Dubois. I'm afraid Harry doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice. Oh, and what happened to yours, Detective? She returns the lieutenant badge and turns to you. Remember when my partner told you I'd recently suffered an unusual medical episode? My lost badge is related to it. I see. She looks increasingly worried. So are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode? It's possible. I could have eaten it. Yes. Dramatic heavy drinking. I lost it. No. Don't remember anything. This world, this city, nothing. Oh dear, she sighs with confusion, sadness even. Some kind of encephalopathic amnesia? Don't even know how to respond. I do believe you, naive as that may sound. I simply can't imagine what you gain by faking such a condition. As I said, ma'am, the lieutenant interjects, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM. Of course, I sympathise, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge. She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial agreement. How do I negotiate my way out of this? Feelings will guide the way. But madame, I need to know about this lynching. It's very important to me. It's the case I'm solving. I assure you it's no small matter for me either. We all share the responsibility for disarming this situation. I hope you have a badge for me as soon as possible. Yeah, so much else. I have only this. It's the entirety of my existence. She's silent. The wind flaps a sail above her. This boat, for example. Oh dear. Officer, the carbon fibre hull creaks. I don't remember anything except this lynching. There is only this coast and this lynching. You know, she puts her foot on the guardway. I don't mean to sound cold, but if you want something, you have to give something back, more than just guilt. You're doing it despite your own best efforts, you're still getting in somehow. I'll be frank with you, if I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. You're going to want to see something tangible, like what? The Union is conducting drug trade out of the harbour. It's an open secret in Martinez. Surely it must not come as a complete surprise to the RCM either. Perhaps it's time to look into it. Or you can find your badge, which honestly seems like a lost cause. Detective, the lieutenant closes his notebook. A word in private before we continue. Excuse us for a moment, madame. Oh, the autosave works now, yeah, sure.
This is not going quite as I wanted it, Detective.
How did you hope it would go? Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance and, you know, not volunteer as to be her henchman. Really? I thought it was going so well. This woman is running circles around us. She might not have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we play straight into her hands. Maybe this is all her plan. She might have heard about you. We could just, you know, find my badge. Oh, you nod slowly. That would be fantastic, but do we have the time? The world is large and your badge is 8 by 6 centimeters. The situation might have changed drastically by the time you locate it. Time is of the essence. You could request a new one from your station, but that would literally take months. What do you propose? That we don't investigate the drug trafficking? No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we're siding with the Union, or that we're on their take. We'd never hear the end of it. What I propose is we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. He adjusts his glasses, but do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done, and demand for her information on the lynching. Sounds like a good idea. Sorry, I wouldn't go that far. Her reaction did come off as sincere to me. I think she's just quick to adapt. She is a professional after all. Let's get back to her then. Okay. Wow, this is a lot of stuff to read.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Oh. I've lost my mouse. Where are we? There we go. Okay, so tell me about the drug trafficking. It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samara and Isola into Rovachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years. Ingredients for what, Mum? Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from this stuff. And you want us to investigate? Yes, but we don't want. But you won't get anything out of Everard and the dock workers' union. Still, she raises her bony finger. Every chain has its weak link. The handoff, the motor lorries at the roundabout. Okay. The lorries. Precisely. Someone needs to move the ingredients from the harbour to the city. Once they reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers well beyond our grasp. But in transit, they are vulnerable. How convenient that they're stranded like beach whales at the roundabout. Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment. She gives you a knowing look. Her irises are light green, like the River Esperance in bright daylight upstream where it's clearer. I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you. Uncovering Union secrets could also give you an upper hand when dealing with them. Okay, I made up my mind. Yeah, okay, yeah, we'll take the case. The jam mystery. Excellent, she takes a long sip of tea. According to my reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout. Hopefully one of them will know something. It may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I suspect the traffic jam won't disperse for a few more days. You should have the time that you need. Do you know anything about these tattoos? That's the man who was killed. She almost takes the photo, but then stops. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question. So you know something about the tattoos. Better not to tie the forestay to the backstay on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with. Okay. Can we get back in the store now?
Look, we've had enough problems with bums and drunks and thieves loitering in the hallway. You have no business here. I know my rights, and don't you marm me, boy.
Miss, would it help if we offer to show you our badges?
Hold your horses. I don't care about the stinking badge. Just come in.
Well, what was the point in all that then? You don't care about the badge. Crazy cleaning lady. Hello. Tell us everything.
Give me a moment.
That was so... Oh my days. She's so stressed with that broom. I can see why. She's not going to clean anything with that. Especially not if she's just sweeping the same patch of floor over and over again. But anyway. Okay.
The cold never does any good for my bronchitis.
Oh, bless her. Are you alright? Should I call the doctor?
I'm fine, fine. Don't you worry about me. Now, what you want from me, policeman?
Yeah, we're looking for that dude, aren't we? Yes, I know who you mean. The scrawny boy who's always smoking like the devil, right? She looks at the other end of the hallway. Somewhere in the building, a child starts crying. You hear a radio turn to a talk show and someone taking a shower. Okay. What's he in trouble for? No trouble, I just want to talk to him. Do you know where he lives? Talk, the cleaning lady starts laughing, but it turns into a violent coughing spasm. She squeezes her broom, trying to catch her breath. What was so funny about that? He lives upstairs in room number 28. Go to the balcony. It's one of those doors there. She points east. He's usually home in the evening. Thank you, Tennessee. We should go check it out at his apartment on the balcony, see if he's home. Okay. Who is this? Demands a female voice, wary and tense. This is the police. Open up. Do I have to open the door? You hear the clacking of heels again as the other side walks right up to the door. Her tone is now getting a defensive edge. Do you have a warrant? I'm not obligated to open the door if you don't have a warrant. Let's go, the lieutenant says. We don't have a reason to get inside that apartment. It's generally easier to do things if you literally have any reason. Okay, just leave. Nice. Some shoes. Why is the money in shoes? The store has been closed with a padlock. A chalk drawn number on the board says 11. No reply. No reply. It's a solid lump of metal, but the shackle is deeply corroded. A solid pair of chain cutters would make short work of it. Better whip out those cutters, you won't get far otherwise. Well, we don't need to go in there though, do we? We do have some chain cutters. Why would we want to go in there? But we could. Let's save the game. Shackle snaps like a twig and the lock falls to the floor with a dull thud. It should be possible to enter. After you, detective. Ah, so he's got no problems with this going in. Books of critical theory, monstrosities, if I could speak of capital and such. Photos of revolutionaries posing with guns even. Flamboyant poster of a white star. Bust of Krasmazov. A plaster cast bust depicts a middle-aged man with impressive sideburns. The name on this plinth reads Krasmazov. Krasmazov was an economist and theoretical historian. He was a leading figure on the Grad side of the turn-of-the-century revolution, where he headed the 9-day government. Mazov is considered the father of scientific communism. Mazovian thought or Mazovianism. Why does this tenant have a bust of Krasmazov in the bedroom? The white star, the photos on the wall. I think we have broken into the apartment of a young communard. He looks around before mumbling to himself. How fitting. Okay. Oh, a bullet. Ah, cool. So we can pop that shirt on and that'll get rid of our negative attribution there. Huh? Oh. Oh, it's a jacket. The police jacket was doing better work for us. Okay, we can put the ball players away. And can we put the bag away? Okay. It isn't just a 5-pointed star, it's an inverted white pentagram cradled in a wreath of antlers. The iconography of communism, in other words. Can inspect the symbol closer. The star and antlers was developed in the 6th decade of the last century and quickly adopted by Mazov and the communards during the revolution. Even today, half a century after, the star and antlers retains the ability to evoke hope, disappointment and fear in equal measure. Where's the star upside down? Symbolise the toppling of the old order. Also, some social democrats were already using it to deal with the antlers. The wreath of antlers represents the natural crown. It was about building a society that could exist in accord with the natural world, and at the same time above it. Why white? Because white is the colour of peace. Okay. What does it evoke in me? Nothing at all yet. Right now, it's just meaningless shapes on a wall. Flip up glasses. 1 logic, -1 authority. Oh, that's not what I thought it was. Can't see him anyway, but whatever. I'm at 12. Loud rumbling snarl. So how do we get... Where's upstairs? Oh, here I guess. Oh, is it... Oh, that was downstairs. That we could see. Okay, so we're out on the balcony where we were before, with where the smoky man was. Someone is watching from within. Oh my. People are good at leaving money around here. Okay, so that's where we were before. There's just the door. Number 28, this is where the cleaning lady who said the smoker lives. Let's see if anyone's home. Looks like the young man we're looking for isn't home. I think our best chance to catch him is in the evening. Looks around, taking it in the cold spring air. We should return tomorrow after we have finished with our day's work. How about 9 o'clock? Sound good? Yeah, tomorrow 9 o'clock, okay. Tomorrow 9 o'clock right here. He writes it down in his little notebook. Good, let's go. Damn, turns out it's quite tricky finding someone in a big apartment building. Don't worry, you'll get him. Remember tomorrow, he's probably gone for today. Okay. Okay, so we need to go back and speak to the drivers, I guess. Is the next lead. He says, like some form of police officer. See what's downstairs. Oh yeah, I may have to turn the music off in this game. Oh, it just leads outside, okay. Because it's getting copyright claimed on YouTube. I mean, I might just leave it on, because obviously with the channel's new and there's a handful of folks watching, so it's not really, I'm not at risk of losing money or anything like that, and I'm not getting the videos taken down, so I think the music does add to the experience. I think I would enjoy it much less without the music, so I'll leave it on for now unless there's any problems, and then we'll see where we go. Is that bookshop oh no, it's just boarded up in it. I thought it was closed. Okay, so there's this guy who we've already spoke to.
Now it's turning into a kind of a snow limbo, man. What's on your mind?
Seem like a man who knows about drugs. Ah man, me and narcotics go way back. He folds his hands behind his whole head and leaned back. Had some good times surfing the psychic waves of my own consciousness, you know. But, he pauses, letting the memory dissipate. Those days are behind me. There are other addictions in my life now. Why the inquiry, my man? Do you finance those other addictions with drug trafficking? Oh, I need to get high and I'm looking for a dealer. Well, that's entrapment. Just go for the top. Hey man, that's serious criminal talk. Are you trying to pull some sort of an entrapment thing on me? Whoa, wait, no. Okay. Lieutenant steps in. We have a credible lead, sir. Someone on this roundabout is waiting for a bulk shipment from the harbour to load it on their lorry and drive it to Jamrock. Not me, man, no way. I don't need any trouble. It's bad enough anyway. This jam's got folks up in arms, and I'm afraid it's headed towards conflagration. Who do you think could be conducting the drug trade? Look man, I try to stay away from the criminal underbelly of Rovachol. I'm a guest here. You really need to find another man to probe with those questions. We won't say his line. Okay, that's all for now. Why can we get on the back of this truck? What's that all about? Oh, just to get around, I suppose. So there's just an old woman that way. Oh, some money. Money! Oh, while we're here we can already, we can go and sell all our bottles. Okay, insert your balls. Yay! Cool beans. We got a whole one real, I suppose. So these are the drivers, I guess, over here. Who can we talk to? We can talk to Big Chat.
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you!
So, how'd you like our harbor?
He's put a rest area on the path leading across open plains, you know, solemnly then turns to you, a wide smile on his face. Right, you talk to the boss, eye to eye, like men of the plain. If you have any more questions, I'm set to talk. Any idea who killed the hangman? The mercenary, aye, he shrugs. Who could have killed him? That's indeed the question. Why even do such a thing? He shakes his head solemnly. Yeah, okay. What a thought, he scoffs, looking shocked. Why would noble workers resort to such a thing? Unless they were pushed, of course. Pushed how? Your dead guy was an enemy combatant. Hold up, what does that mean? He was an agent of the opposition attempting to undermine our honourable efforts. Did you kill him? I ain't the murdering type, but that's just me. Large organisations like our union have all sorts of men with all sorts of skills. He's not lying and not doing it himself. Understood, the lieutenant takes a note. This has been of limited use, still thank you. No problem, okay. Is there nothing more we can get from this guy?
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on
Who are all
you!
these strike breakers? Honest men and women with rights to work, to be useful, not toys for corporate interests. We came here to help the harbour run smoothly in a time of crisis. If Union Fs don't want work, they are let in those who do want work. I have a question. Why do all these men follow your leadership? You think they follow because I'm big and loud? No, they follow the rules of the market, the rules of the economy, because they were, he starts bellowing, given a job to do. Yeah.
Looking for something, Rund? Huh? Coming to tell me to fuck off again?
Drugs, they're shit, man. I don't let anything pollute my body. He takes a long drag on his cigarette. You smell of boozers. Why not? You know where that shit comes from? Samariza, Safra, Lil Mara. They take the money from our local junkies here, then use it to outcompete us in the manufacturing sector. They know they know they can't beat us in a fair fight, so they have to get us to weaken ourselves somehow. It's racial sabotage, racial economic sabotage. Whoa, this guy. Yeah. Okay. Hold on, but they make alcohol and ammo too. I was told they do. I don't go for that foreign piss. Proper booze is made in Mundy, or sometimes I like a dram of that Yugo-Grad vodka. Kojkos ain't worth much, but they do know booze. Okay, so you're not smuggling drugs. Not in, not out. I'll never betray the purity of my tribe. So you're telling us that you don't know anything about drug smuggling through Terminal B? I don't know shit, and I don't, and if I did, I wouldn't tell you. Then what are you still hanging around here for? Most of the canyoners have left. What do you think? I can't leave the lorry unguarded. Stuff's been getting looted lately. It's those little kids sneaking around at night. If they touch my stuff, the bosses will be on my ass like ass cancer. Okay. There was a bunch of spilled boxes in the back of a big lorry nearby. I did see one lorry with trailer doors open on my way here. Do you know what happened? Okay. Ooh, level up, nice. Yeah, I knew that guy. He was an honest driver who loved his country. We were having a good debate about genetics at the Whirling in Rags when some kit boys smashed his lock and took damn near everything. Lost his effing job over it. He takes a long suck in his cigarette, appearing to savour the taste. Since he left, I haven't had anyone to talk to. They were getting drunk inside the Whirling in Rags. How could they know who broke into the lorry? Ah, okay, so, yeah. What? Aren't we allowed to say that it's the kids who do all the stealing around here? It's not rotor science, man. If it's not you, then who's running drugs through Terminal B? Isn't it obvious? Effing Sealang, that beady-eyed South Samaran, spits on the ground. His little side business is a scam. I wouldn't be surprised if he was peddling drugs as well. Who's that? He's the Samaran guy who likes to pretend he's some kind of businessman. Really, he's just selling his employer's stuff. Stuff he stole after he broke the seals on his Humanox lorry. Where do I find him? Just follow the smell. It smells like apricots and oil when you're nearby. The lorryman lets out a raspy croak at his own sense of humour. Yes. Yes. Where is he? Looks like I offended your partner there. He doesn't look like the lieutenant. Too bad. Sealang's usually a little bit south of here, near the canal. You can't miss him. Just watch yourselves. His tribe are all natural liars. It's in their blood. He nods in a sagely manner. Then another puff of that cigarette. He's your man, alright, 100%. I won't be so sure about it, not until we've heard what Sealang himself has to say. Guess we need to pay Sealang a visit then. Guess so, he grins, contented with himself. Okay. So we're south, he says. It's not the guy we just spoke to, is it? Does it tell us their name when we speak to him?
Now it's turning into
that's Tommy.
Kind of a...
That's just an old lady, isn't it? Near the canal, it said, so where's his map? Oh, maybe I didn't get a copy of the map on this. I don't even remember where the canal is, to be fair. Should go buy a copy of the map anyway. already done this, so why I'm skipping through it. It's just I didn't in the when I reloaded the game, I didn't come back up here and buy the map. Although I did get the girl inside, as you can see, and got the woman to admit that she was being a bit harsh. Okay. We do have the map now. Oop. So this is the canal, I guess. That's where we that's the shop there, so it was kind of straight down the road there. Okay, can we even get that way? There's a whole area that I've just completely missed. It looks like it, doesn't it? Is that this guy? Lang. You see a Samaran street vendor surrounded by a motley assemblage of goods. When he realizes you're looking at him, his face breaks into a wide, welcoming grin. The name Sealang is embroidered over his breast pocket.
Happy shopping, officer. Everything's cool here.
What's so cool?
Everything's cool. The goods are cool, the customers are cool, the place is cool. And one more thing, officer. You're very cool.
He makes both hands into finger pistols and fires a few finger bullets into the air. You feel the twitch in your index fingers. There's a finger shoot out of brewing. Whip them out. No, it's yeah.
Don't shoot, officer. Have we got an arrest here, or just a shakedown? Good one, officer. You're a funny guy. Now, what can I do for you?
Just kidding. I'm really here to shake you down for some answers to official police questions.
Fire away, officer.
Thought gained. Finger pistols. I don't understand. So, snapping doesn't help. You promised to go. Okay, let's do it. Why not? Then fire away, officer. He settles back into the pile of boxes sitting on his getting comfortable. So where are you from, Sealang? Me? It's a boring story, officer. Who cares about the past? I'm all business now, all Rovachol. This man probably comes from Sige, sometimes known as the ancient suzerainty, an archipelago in the Samaran Isla. You're from the apricot suzerainty, right? Apricot suzerainty calls to mind an era when the Sige archipelago was colonised by Rovachol. It's a bit of a slur, in other words. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say that you're from. Pronounce it very painstakingly, sea guy. Very cool, Sealang nods, his eyebrows furrowed. I admire your awareness of our intertwined histories. It's super nice of you to apologise for colonialism, but the apricot suzerainty is a hole. That's why I left. You're welcome. I do try to be supportive of other people's cultures. That's so cool, officer. Speaking of, why not support an independent local entrepreneur by buying some pants and glasses? Persuade him to give you some money. Why would you? So, Sealang, what's your stance on drugs? Drugs? For a moment he's unsure how to respond. I didn't go in for that, officer. Drugs ruin lives. Unless you're into drugs, of course, in which case drugs are excellent. He kisses his fingers. Tasty, tasty drugs. Okay. We're looking for a lorry driver who's transporting drugs out of the harbour. Yeah, okay. That's so cool. You investigate in the local drug trade like some cool narc, but he points to the goods. I'm not a lorry driver. I'm just a street vendor. I don't know anything about that. Blatant lie, sire. Yeah, he tells it with such conviction. We'd believe him if we didn't know better. But you are a lorryman. Another driver has identified you and your lorry. Who said that? It's the fat racist, right? I bet it's him. He has an agenda against me because I'm an immigrant who works harder than he does. He's a hater. So you admit you're a lorry driver then? No, I just said I work harder and he's an asshole. He stops to think, realising he can't get out of it. Smart man. Okay, maybe I'm a lorry driver too. A little, but that's not the most important thing about me. That's my day job. This is my dream. He spreads his arms. Stop squirming. What do you know about the drug trade? Nothing, I told you. I'm not a dumb guy. I don't get involved with that crowd. And what crowd is that? Crowd, you know, the drug crowd? No, he wasn't talking about an abstract crowd. It was that crowd. It wasn't some drug crowd. You know who they are. Tell me now. Shush, please. He looks around, then lowers his voice. There's bad people doing bad things here. That's all I know. Please don't get me into this mess. I've spent 15 years working my way up. Here we go. There's a tiny bit of truth on the table. Zoom in on it. If you don't want to have to get into this mess, you have to give us a reason to move on. We're buddy selling. Help us out. No one will know it was you. It's a she, okay, he whispers. The other drivers call her the lady driver. You're better off staying away from her. The way they talk about her, he shakes his head. She's no lady. Is the lady driver the old woman back there? Dazed out, strange. I don't know, maybe. If she is, I haven't gone near her. Don't get involved, I told you. He's not ruling her out. Who are these other drivers who talk? All of them? I don't know. I told you all I know. Are we cool now? I really want us to be cool now. Who exactly is talking about this lady driver of yours? The racist or the other one with the tattoos? He points north. All of them, even the ones who's left. I don't hang out with them. I don't remember who has tattoos. Okay, we're cool now. Alright, he snaps back to his usual self. Ice cold, let's cap this off by a purchase. You can walk away from here with funky sunglasses, detectives. Both of you, you deserve it. Persuade him to give you something. That's just weird. I'll look around, thanks. Pile of clothes. There are clothes inside. Cheap second-hand clothes, smelling of strange
Don't be
body
shy.
odors.
These are premium class clothes. Good quality fabrics, best retro design. Save the economy with your style, officer.
You find your hand deep in tattered and faded garments made from weird polyester blends that make your body itch and sweat in all the wrong places. Oh dear. The box smells like cat piss or an old person with no money. Okay. Economical but also trendy, the street vendor shouts. Look, first hand buy, second hand, keep the economy moving. Okay, let's just leave. This guy with his wares. There might be something useful, I suppose. Box of sunglasses.
You like sunglasses, officer? I've got the latest styles right here.
Now the lieutenant gently removes the glasses from your face, setting you free again. You're definitely not buying those. One electrochemistry, -1 logic. Found sneakers on a pedestal.
I can see you have a taste for luxury, officer. Can't keep your eyes off those sneakers?
So the speakers, a small heat embossed on the veneer reads Solidarity Aid from the People's Republic of Samara. The speakers themselves don't seem to display any magical qualities. The speakers are Samaran garbage. I'm ashamed to even use them for props. Don't waste your time on it. But I need some speakers. But see, they are the pedestal for my sneakers. If I let go of the speakers, where will the sneakers go? I can't leave premium lifestyle sneakers on the ground. If on the other hand you wanted to buy the sneakers too, I could maybe throw in the speakers for a little extra, 50 cents. Damn, so you have to buy the sneakers first. I don't think I'm going to be wanting those sneakers. Such a weird word, sneakers. Yeah, so let's go talk to the woman. Maybe that's why we couldn't talk to her before, because it's part of this quest. Or this case, should I say. Okay.
If you want her attention, you may need to be more forceful.
Snappy fingers twice.
Where am I? Who are you?
Like a magician recalling a subject from hypnosis, you jolted her back to reality. I was actually hoping you could tell me that. You know, yeah.
Never mind. I remember now. I'm still stuck in the traffic jam. In the 50s.
Where else would you
Back
be then?
in Methke, during the time of the revolution, the sidewalks and coffees are filled with young people. I was on my way to see a new Boydero picture starring Gabriel Buenguerro. Until you come along, that is.
Sorry to interrupt
I
you
wasn't
dreaming.
dreaming. I was there, low man. It was early spring, and the man behind the black sun had just come out. The posters were 20 meters tall. Everything was golden. While you people were tearing each other apart over your petty little revolution. In Methke, it was a golden age.
The Republic of Mecca is a massive confederation on the Isola of Mundi, the world's largest state by territory. It's a petrostate, a constitutional monarchy, and as of recently an outcast due to its tilt to the far right. Like a lot of other places right now. Okay.
Someone was. They are someone's memories, boy. What difference does it make if they are beautiful? That is all that matters, beautiful and true. And they will win. They are coming for this, you know. All of this. Why not, Herife? It's not like I have anything better to do in this hellhole.
She settles back against the railing of a motor lorry. Behind her, mountains of memorabilia, photos and knickknacks line the dashboard. What are you hauling? Diamonds. Diamonds, really? Of course not, she says, grinning. But wouldn't it be marvellous if I was? Okay, but what are you really hauling? She shrugs. Whatever stupid things they put in the lorry, I imagine. So you don't know? I quit concerning myself with that a long time ago. She smiles a careless smile. Besides, I don't drive the lorry for the cargo, if you know what I mean. What if the cargo is contraband? Then it is contraband, Lawman. What, do you want to take an old woman in? Be my guest. Lock me away like bad hand Hermenegilda. Bad hand Hermenegilda's bad hand strangled 300 people. What can I say? Some people just really like strangling people. You seem like a woman who knows a thing or two about drugs. What do I need drugs for, Lawman? What I see, what I feel, the great adversary. No drugs can compare. The adversary. Yes, there is a protagonista. She gestures to the intersection. And an adversaria. I am on the side of the adversary. There is no coming back from that hall. Those epithets are familiar somehow. The great adversary, the great unrest. It's not really what I was getting at. Then what were you getting at? Maybe if she thought you're corrupt. I wanted to ask if you'd be interested in smuggling some drugs. Why would I want to do that? For commerce? For glory of the World Republic? I don't know. For the thrill of the criminal lifestyle? For commerce? Lawman, what in the name of God are you talking about? Okay, let me put this another way. Are you smuggling drugs through Terminal B? Her shoulder bones crack as she shrugs. Maybe? Probably not. Makes no difference to me either way. You said earlier you don't know what cargo you're hauling. Could it be drugs? Just this month I made half a dozen trips from Samariza to Grad on the U41A. What do you think they take from Samariza to Grad, Lawman? Drugs. No, Lawman. Diamond, she grins. If you had to guess, what do you think? Who do you think is smuggling drugs around here? Easy, it's the skinny man who thinks he's a poet. Never trust a poet, she squints across the square. Also, he's the only one I can see from here. That's correct, there is no visibility of any of the others. Okay, if you're not involved with the drug trafficking, then why are you still waiting here? Where do you want me to go? This isn't so bad. I can listen to music or the seagulls. Look at all the colours and the features of this world. It's a good palate cleanser, this jamboree. Or can I just relax and let my mind carry me back to where it will, to the Great Plains? I think we're done here now. Okay. Thank you for now. Yes, go. Enough jamboree. I need to get back to the mess. Voice trails off. I have no idea who is smuggling drugs. I'm going to make that very clear. I have no idea. Who's this guy? Oh, someone else that we can't talk to. So who's the skinny guy that she can see? So she can see that way. There's no one that way. The only person that I mean, it could be her, or it could be the racist, it could be that guy, it could be any of them. Some fingerless gloves that give us better electrochemistry. I mean, why not, you know? If Roy knows all about the drug trade.
It's not often that I see officers of the RCM in my pawn shop. What can I do for you? I haven't really had any problems myself, though some of my customers have complained about the inconsistent law enforcement.
This guy sounds sketchy as hell.
Who are your customers usually?
All kinds of people come through here. Locals, travellers, people looking for a deal, people looking for a keepsake, people who are terminally bored.
Well, bird's nest Roy.
As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from. It keeps me entertained.
You might be high views on what? Oh, so the gloves made that more possible. Feeling warm and enthralled by the movement of light while the mind continues to race forward. Lucky bastard, he's probably on Pyre Holidon. It's tough to come by on the street. Drug developed by the military to treat and prevent radiation sickness, a psychedelic side effects, and it makes your eyes turn yellow. Is it just me, or is it really warm in here? I try to keep the shop at a comfortable temperature. No judgment, I'm just curious. I probably did loads of Pyre Holly before I lost my memory. I've had to take it, you know, since the People's Pile clean-up. He responds carefully. I was with the Emergency Relief Brigade, taking it for mental and emotional and not physical pain these days. Thank you for telling me. You might be able to aid in our investigation. Know anything about the recent hanging? I thought he was going to be a lead for the drugs, to be fair, but hey. I do my best to keep my distance from all manner of butchery. Bad for business, bad for everyone. Okay, actually that's all I've got. by the way, do you happen to have any guns like the one carried by cops? Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple of days back. Boom. This is a pawn shop, and it did feel as though you'd met before. Oh god. Lieutenant shifts from one foot to another. Wait, I sold you my gun? Was the Barrow policeman too? Was the Barrow policeman too? She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive. I was just happy to get rid of it, and her. Truth be told, she was terrifying. Right, so let me get this right. The lieutenant turns to you. You sold your sidearm, issued by the citizens' militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it. I don't like it either. What if she intends to commit a crime and blame it on the citizens' militia? You're right, that she could cast aspersions on the force. We have to find her. He looks around worried. Any idea where I can find this buyer? My apologies, officer, but I have no idea where she was coming from or where she went. Needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it right now. You'll just have to hope Everett wasn't lying and the Union can track her down in time. Have people from Everett Clays Union come here to track the gun? Maybe. Shady looking guys came in here yesterday looking like they'd just taken off their Wild Pines overalls. They asked if I had a police weapon to sell. I told them I already sold it. They went their way. It was a trip, but you know, all sorts of people come here asking for all sorts of things. Alright, so it might be true. Maybe Claire really is tracking down your gun. The lieutenant's eyebrows rise slightly. People as allegianous as Everett seem like they're lying even when they're really being truthful. At least now I know how I lost my sidearm. Let's talk about something else, of course. Okay. Something I'd like to sell. I have other business to take care of. Okay, so the scary woman bought it, apparently. Sawed-off streetlight. Where did you get this? It was brought to me by it was brought to me to be altered. He leans into the pawnbroker and hear him. We're not here to investigate the theft of city property. He pauses, studying the light, and then adds, you have to admit it's rather clever what he's done with it. Okay. How much for the streetlight? 700 real, a bargain I dare say. Are you out of your mind? There's one like that on every corner. He rests his elbows on the counter and brings his face closer to the glass. The light has undergone 3 transformations, and every transformation, large or small, has a price tag. The light has been removed and rewired. That's 2 transformations. What about the 3rd? I get how sawing it off and redoing the wiring could add to the cost, but what else? He throws you a look of weary patience. The most important transformation is the light's placement among ordinary indoor fixtures, which has adjusted its morphological field. The light became suitable for use inside the home just a few days ago. Okay. Wow. Yeah, we're not buying a 700 rail street light. I mean, we can't anyway. We've got 1562. Okay. I really need to turn my Steam notifications off. Bum, 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 bum. Nice. Okay, who's this guy? Anyway, I think we've been... I've lost track of time, so that must mean we've been playing for a long time. So we'll leave it here. We'll pop a save. And then we'll... when I've regained a bit of my voice, we'll carry on. We'll carry on with the recording tomorrow. Alright. Thanks for joining us again. I hope you enjoyed this app. It's getting... I'm not sure if people are going to enjoy this content. It's interesting for me because I'm playing the game as well, but for you guys it's literally just walking around and listening to me read off a load of text. But hey, who knows? People like all sorts of things. If you enjoyed it, I'll see you in the next episode. Alright, bye.